It's called the birthplace of speed. Back then, it was the hard-packed sand that allowed for records to be broken. Today, it's the high banks and long straightaways. Not to mention, it's the dream of every driver and fan, offering a moment of glory that will extend well beyond 500 miles for years to come. We're still talking about the first one, and guarantee we'll be talking about this one. Here's to the great American race that can only be the Daytona 500.
Live on the Gaming Life YouTube channel, it's the NASCAR YouTube Cup Series. Today, it's the Daytona 500 from Daytona International Speedway. It's the Super Bowl, it's the World Series, it's the Kentucky Derby, all rolled into one. This is the Great American Race. This is the Daytona 500. Hello and good afternoon everybody from virtual Daytona International Speedway, and we're getting ready to kick off the Super Bowl of stock car racing, the Daytona 500. At the end of this race, you're not just a winner, you're a Daytona 500 champion. High-speed racing at over 200 miles an hour, and it's a race where nearly anyone could walk away with the win. After two chaotic duel races, it feels like anything could happen this afternoon, as the field of now 39 drivers will take the green flag here in just a few minutes. Brad Keselowski racked up several super speedway wins with Team Penske. It's surprising that the Daytona 500 remains unchecked on his to-do list. But at a team like Roush, where they bring their A-game to super speedways, you can't count out Brad Keselowski as he goes for his first Daytona 500 win. There's no one more decorated in the Daytona 500 in this field right now than Denny Hamlin. With 3 Daytona 500 wins in total, 2 of those were back-to-back, Hamlin has learned how to finesse super speedways to perfection. Whether that's dropping out of the pack and avoiding the big one, or driving up to the front when it matters the most. If you want to keep an eye on somebody, it's Denny Hamlin. It would seem crazy to win your first race at the Daytona 500, but it's happened several times throughout its history. And when you're looking at the options of first-time winners, Corey LaJoie is certainly a name that comes off the board. LaJoie has learned how to make these super speedways his specialty, coming up oh so close in Atlanta 2022, and continuously running up front at Daytona, especially in the summer races, and who knows, today could be his day. But we can't look away from this battle for the lead. Daniel Suarez on the brakes with the inside line. Bell pedaling, can't do it. Suarez cleared the lead with 7 laps to go. Almost there, but off turn 4. Daniel Suarez wins at Daytona. Daniel Suarez wins the Busch Light battle at the backstretch. Busch around the outside of Nemechek. White flag, 1 lap to go. Logano and Alfredo are coming up pit road. They did not have enough gas to make it back. And now they're slowing. Nemechek and Busch are slowing. Is that Logano coming? Logano! I think Logano's going to win the duel. The on-rushing 31 car of Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick is there. He's right on his back quadruped. He's right on his quarter panel. Oh, he almost turns him. Here they come. Off turn 4 into the tri-oval. Will it be Gragson? Will it be Hemrick at the line? It's Gragson. Gragson wins duel number 2. Alright, let's talk about some keys to winning the Great American Race. Key number 1 is going to be the draft, and not so much as your drafting partner, but more about just staying in the draft. The last thing you want to do is lose the draft and go a lap down early on in this race, because that could be a hole that you just can't dig out of. Key number 2 is an obvious one, and that's avoid the big one. It's not a matter of if the big one will strike, it's when the big one will strike. In years past, the big one can wipe out several big names out of this race who were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. On the flip side of that, being in the right place at the right time could give you the win here in Daytona. The third and final key to this race is of course going to be on pit road. Especially if we see green flag pit stops, you don't want to make a mistake slowing down from 200 miles an hour to 55, and then that pit crew has to execute that stop to get you back on the track and back in the draft. A slow pit stop or a speeding penalty will completely derail your race and end your hopes for a Daytona 500 win. Alright, we've seen the drivers, we've talked about the keys to winning. Let's fire those engines and get the Daytona 500 underway. Let's go trackside.
Here to give the command to fire engines is actor, entrepreneur, founder, and United Football League co-owner, the Grand Marshal for the 66th running of the Daytona 500, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
In the proud spirit of America and in the proud spirit of our great country, finally, The Rock says, drivers, start your engine!
The command has been given. Let's crack them up.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Daytona 500. Joey Logano and Noah Gragson will start on the front row with their win in the dual races. Anthony Alfredo and Daniel Hemrick are in row number 2, with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Chase Briscoe making up row number 3. William Byron and Brad Keselowski are row number 4, with Kaz Grala and Kyle Larson rounding out the top 10. In the 11th and 12th positions, it's Justin Haley and Josh Berry. 13th and 14th are John Hunter Nemechek and Martin Truex Jr. 15th, 16th, Denny Hamlin, Zane Smith, with 17th and 18th being Shane Van Gisbergen and Christopher Bell. Kyle Busch and Ty Gibbs round out the top 20, with Eric Jones, David Reagan, 21st and 22nd. 23rd, 24th, Austin Dillon, Ross Chastain. 25th, 26th, Chris Buescher and Tyler Reddick. 27th, 28th, Ryan Blaney and Corey LaJoie, with Austin Cindric and Daniel Suarez rounding out the top 30. Carson Hocevar 31st, Ryan Preece 32nd, Harrison Burton 33rd, Todd Gilliland 34th, Michael McDowell 35th, with Bubba Wallace in 36th, Jimmy Johnson 37th, and in the last two spots, Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman. But with the rest of the race info, 15 lap, stage 1 ends at lap 15, stage 2 at lap 32, and then it's an 18 lap run to the black and white checker flag at lap 50. The fuel window is anywhere between 6 or 9 laps. Kind of depends on how this race plays out, whether you want to pit early or pit late. That will be a big strategy play if things stay green. But as the field comes off turn number 4, 39 cars, 2 by 2. Pace car dives onto pit road. Joey Logano, Noah Gragson, the front row. Green flag is in the air, and the Daytona 500 is underway. Here comes the field, rumbling off of turn number 4, side by side for the lead. At the line, it's Anthony Alfredo who's going to lead lap 1, but Joey Logano with a big burst of speed on the outside. That's a push from Noah Gragson back to turn 1. They stay dead even for the lead. 3 wide behind them. That's Byron on the bottom, giving a big shove to Anthony Alfredo. He is clear to the lead. 3 wide most of the way through the field. Alfredo back to turn 3, tries to throw the block on Byron, can't do it. Here comes the Hendrick door number 24. Off of turn number 4, they're going to have the lead. Haley just shoving Alfredo, and then I've almost touched. Oh my gosh, they nearly touched there in the tri-oval. 3 wide from second on back. Where does Byron go? He goes to the middle. Can't block the run on the bottom. That's Nemechek getting a shove from Hamlin. A couple of Toyota Camrys off turn 2 now with the advantage. Van Gisbergen looking to go 3 wide up the middle. That's not going to work. He doesn't have any drafting help. Christopher Bell now on the bottom, trying to get to the back bumper of Hamlin as the outside line continues to deteriorate. And then really the middle lane is the one that just has nowhere near enough cars in it. And the cars that are in it just are not bumper to bumper. They're not pushing on each other, really moving the line forward. Very sketchy there. Logano got up and out of line, but he managed to keep it pointed in the right direction as Ty Gibbs goes to the front with a push from Kyle Busch. .39 cars still in this pack, and they're going to crash into turn 3 hard. Byron on his side. Oh, Byron barrel rolling down the apron, and a hard impact into the wall. That looked like Van Gisbergen got out of shape, and the pack has blown apart. A bunch of cars involved. Logano's involved. Larson has crashed off of turn number 4. Everybody has just been scattered. On lap number 5, a big wreck, and this is going to bring out the first caution of the race. I can't even begin to list off the drivers involved. There are so many cars, and good cars, involved in this one. My oh my, let's take a look at the replay. This was big. I dare say this was the big one, folks. Byron was running inside the top 10 when this happened. It's like a domino effect there from Van Gisbergen trying to side draft another car. Gonna have to go back and see who that was. Oh, he's trying to side draft Logano and Alfredo. And when he does that, that hooks Bell, which hooks into Byron and then Cindric. And then they all pile in. Alfredo onto his side, Byron onto his side, but then he goes up and over down the banking. In a huge wreck. The track was completely blocked at one point. McDowell, Bubba, Priest, just a handful of those drivers were so fortunate to slip by this on the bottom before they started to come back down the racetrack. And Truex, Suarez, Chase Elliott, all of them got collected in this. Mike, that and Byron on a huge tumble. Larson, Reddick, Byron, Truex. So many big names are completely wiped out here. Unbelievable. We're going to have to shake this out and just see who all is left and with a clean race car at this point. Meantime, pit road is open and Ty Gibbs is leading everybody onto pit road here. These drivers are right on the window in terms of making it to the end of this race, end of this stage on fuel. Four-tire stop for Ty Gibbs, four-tire stop for Kyle Busch as well. Is anybody going to take two tires here trying to win this race off of pit road? No, Ty Gibbs wins the race off of pit road. Eric Jones, second driver off. Ryan Blaney, Nemechek, and Austin Dillon, the top five, coming off of pit road. So some gambles there for some track position. Ty Gibbs leads them on and leads them off. But some new drivers there in the top five. Lights are off on the pace car. Quick look at the running order as it stands. We've still got 28 cars in this race on the lead lap. The cars that are a lap down. Corey LaJoy in 29th. He's a lap down. Josh Berry's a lap down. Daniel Hemrick, Shane Van Gisbergen are a lap down. Now we have two lap down cars from 33rd. That's Alfredo Cindric, Logano, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, William Byron. Those cars 2 laps down out of the race. Then you've got Carson Hocevar 3 laps down in last. When we get this back going, it's going to be 7 laps to go in stage number 1. And already the pole sitter, Joey Logano, out of the race. Noah Gragson, he started on second. He is the last car on the lead lap. So if you had any apprehensions about this, if you had any idea who your favorite was, who you thought, hey, may have a shot at winning this, throw that out the window. This race has been turned on its head quite literally. Still plenty of drivers left to fight for this win. Still plenty of big names left to win this race. 7 laps to go in stage number 1. Pace car off. Leaders in the restart zone. Here we go, green flag, Ty Gibbs and Eric Jones, the front row. Top 2, nose to tail, pushing and shoving each other into turn number 1. Eric Jones with a nose out in front. He's got his teammate John Nemechek glued to his rear bumper. As they come off of turn 2, the inside line is where the numbers begin to come. Around goes Preece. Preece gets turned in front of the rest of the pack. Oh no, we're going to wipe out more cars. Thankfully, it looks like just bumper cars back there. As Preece goes around. My goodness, we couldn't even get up to speed that time. Priest was 12th on that restart, and now he's going around and he's going to the back. Caution, back out. My goodness, you think the aggression level may come down after that massive accident on lap 5, but no, the pace car now trying to lead all the laps, or at least put up a good lap count here. Let's take a look at the replay and see what happened to Priest, I guess. We were watching the front 4 or 5 cars push and shove each other. It's a 3-wide situation with Stenhouse and Burton, and Priest is the unlucky one. Keselowski gets sideways, Reagan and Suarez get into the wall, but not major contact. Priest and Keselowski for sure got the worst of that. But man, from what I saw when Priest went around, that was broadside in front of the back half of the field. So fortunate we did not just wipe out a ton of race cars and really shrink our field, and we're not even through stage 1. Gilliland and Zane Smith also with some contact in that. Wouldn't be surprised if they come to pit road and try to get those cars patched up. Pit road is open, and once again, it looks like everybody's going to be coming onto pit road. So maybe these drivers were a little closer to that fuel number than they wanted to be. This will most definitely give them enough fuel to make it to the end of this stage. Ty Gibbs again leads everybody onto pit road. Shouldn't be a whole lot of fuel that we need to pack into these race cars. And it shows 2-tire stop for Gibbs. Oh, he's got contact with Christopher Bell. He's still going to win the race off of pit road. Eric Jones second. Blaney third. Austin Dillon was fourth. And Bubba Wallace fifth off of pit road. Some contact there between some Joe Gibbs teammates coming off of pit road. Well, if there was any question that this race may be lacking in storylines, my goodness, so much drama, and we're only 10 laps into this race. Ah, man, unbelievable. This is craziness. The lights remain on the pace car, so we'll have very few laps left here in stage 1. This is going to be a very quick dash to the end of this first stage. So I guess we'll take a look at the running order as it stands. Ty Gibbs, Eric Jones, Ryan Blaney, Austin Dillon, and Bubba Wallace, your top 5. Alex Bowman in 6th. McDowell, Buescher, Nemechek, and Kyle Busch. That's your top 10. The rest of the top 20, Hamlin, Burton, Haley, Johnson, Chastain, Stenhouse, Zane Smith, Gilliland, and Regan, and Priest. Priest does stay in 20th. Then we have Chase Briscoe, 21st, Tyler Reddick, Daniel Suarez, Kaz Grala, Truex, Noah Gragson, Brad Keselowski, and Christopher Bell. He is in 28th and the last car on the lead lap. So just through that running order, some drivers that really stick out to me. Probably got to be Bubba Wallace in 5th. Bubba Wallace in 5th. That is not his primary car. That's a backup car. His primary car went barrel rolling down the backstretch in duel number 2. He started in the back of the field after going to a backup, and now he's up to 5th. That's pretty impressive. Some other drivers that stick out. Bowman, he started last. He's up to 6th. I believe Nemechek had an incident in his dual race as well. He's up to 9th. There we go. Lights off on the pace car. We will go green next time by, and that will be 2 laps to go in the stage. So green-white checkered situation for the end to get to the end of stage number 1. Of course, whoever wins stage 1 will get 10 points as well as 1 bonus playoff point that, if that driver makes it into the playoffs, could come in very handy. The rest of the top 10 will get corresponding points all the way to 1 point for 10th. So, I mean, we talk about the aggression level, how aggressive it's been. I don't think the aggression level is going to stop. I think this aggression level is going to stay high, as everybody's going to be fighting to get it in the top 10 and maybe have a shot at winning this first stage, the first one of the season. That's going to be worth points. It's been a chaotic and crazy race so far, and I've got a feeling we're not done yet. The pace car will dive onto pit road. Into the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. And a nice jump from Eric Jones. He's going to have half a car length lead, and maybe a full car length lead as they head to turn number 1. Blaney out of line. Looking for the lead. Look at this. Eric Jones to the front from the outside. What a move. Blaney got an excellent restart as well. So did McDowell. Gibbs just struggling to get up to speed. He's got Bubba Wallace right behind him. Busher as well. He's still not up to speed. On the outside of him, that's Bowman and Austin Dillon making moves for the lead, side by side. Here comes Blaney to the inside of Jones. Side by side for the lead off of 4, side by side for 3rd behind them, and then side by side and 3 wide behind that. White flag. 1 lap to go in stage number 1. Blaney by a nose at the line. Austin Dillon in 3rd, an interested spectator. So is McDowell and Nemechek. Into the banking of turns 1 and 2. Blaney surges to the front. He's got McDowell up his back bumper. Nemechek is there as well as Burton goes way onto the apron. An impressive save by the 21 car. Into turn number 3. Blaney with the lead. Here comes McDowell on the bottom. 2 by 2 the front 6. Green and white checkered, waiting for these folks at the start-finish line. Here they come. Will it be Blaney? Will it be McDowell? It's going to be close. At the line, it's McDowell. McDowell wins stage 1 of the Daytona 500 by 14 1/1000ths of a second. Nemechek is 3rd. Jones is 4th. Bowman is your top 5. Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Justin Haley, and how about Harrison Burton? An unbelievable save, and he gets 10th to end the stage. How about that? I want to take a look at that near accident for Harrison Burton when they took the white flag. Let's see this again, because that really bunched up. That really kind of separated the field. Watch it, the turns 1 and 2. He's getting a big push here from Haley. Oh, he just gets on his corner there. Wow! And he never lifted. Burton never got out of the throttle. He kept his foot in it, just got right back on the racetrack. He lost a couple of spots, but he held his own to hang on to that last spot of the top 10 for the stage. Wow! That was a wheelman effort right there. Did not stop driving that race car. Pit road is open, and once again, we're seeing everybody come onto pit road. Nobody wanting to deviate off the current strategy. Not a lot of laps run, though, so I don't know how much we'll really see here in terms of shakeup. Probably going to be a top off with fuel and 2 tires. But that's not what's going to be for McDowell. McDowell's going with 4. McDowell surprisingly picked 4 tires there. And we'll see if that translates. Blaney, oh, just can't quite get it there. So here they come off of pit road. Michael McDowell, Ryan Blaney, the top 2 on and off. Bowman, Eric Jones, and John Nemechek. That's your top 5 coming off of pit road. Harrison Burton and Chastain. Looks like they leapfrogged a couple of spots. 6th and 7th, so good pit stops by them. Alright, so stage 1 is done. Michael McDowell, the winner. Going to step away for a brief moment, but don't go anywhere. Stage 2 is up next. Who knows what that holds? Don't go anywhere, folks. Stage 2 is next.
This place, how everyone shows up with a dream. Picture perfect blank canvas. Blue skies, wavy trees, the sun's kiss. Yeah, but the dream often doesn't meet the reality. It's hard to make it here, to achieve here, and most don't. And when you do, nothing needs to be said. Let these actions do it for you. Let the challenge be your success. Embrace it. We're racing in California.
In a world where digital games are becoming the norm, it seems like a game can be wiped out of existence overnight. But digging these games back up is what I do. Sometimes the challenge isn't in the game. Sometimes the challenge is finding the game itself. This is Delisted.
Here in Daytona, the regular season finale, 2 spots remain in the playoff grid.
Here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, every time we have the racing here, it is intense.
Once again, they'll be racing here in May in Indianapolis at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
We're into our race broadcast. 61 cars have rolled out of the pit lane.
We're here at Silverstone for the 10th race of the F1 season. It's the British Grand Prix.
Lights are off on the pace car. We're getting ready to go green. Next time by, that will be with 13 laps to go until the end of stage 2. We've really yet to see this race get into a rhythm or a green flag run of any kind. I think the longest green flag run we've had has been at the start of the race where we got to lap 5 before the big one happened. Or at least one of the big ones. I don't know if we'll get another one or not, but that certainly set the tone for what it was a chaotic and crazy Stage 1. Not sure what we're going to see here in Stage 2, if that intensity is going to continue or if we're going to settle in here. We got some big names and some big teams here in the top 10, as well as some underdogs and some teams that I think are going to do well at this style of racetrack with super speedways. But there is such a long way to go. We're not even halfway in terms of distance with this race. A lot of cautions have really slowed us down and really bogged the pace of this race. But here they come off of turn number 4, getting ready to get this race back going. Pace car dives onto pit road. Ryan Blaney, Michael McDowell into the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. Here we go, and man, Eric Jones out of line already. No drafting help though. It'd be best of him to get back in line. McDowell leads to turn 1 with a push from Alex Bowman. While that outside lane just did not get going real well. Top 2 are going to be clear here off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. McDowell up in front of Blaney. That opens up the inside line for Alex Bowman. Nemechek, Burton, all of those guys pushing and shoving on the inside line. A little 3-wide action further back there with Hamlin. Haley. And that looks like Austin Dillon and Bubba Wallace there, kind of getting shuffled out of line. We're already seeing some cars drop back and lose this lead draft. Probably some cars with damage, and they're unable to maintain the peak speed that these cars with no damage have. 2 by 2, about 6 or 8 rows deep off of turn number 2. Nemechek the leader. He moves up the track, opens up the bottom. Can he throw the block though here into turn number 3 on Harrison Burton? He will. So Nemechek just trying to control the field right now. And that's like trying to ask the camel to go through the eye of the needle. As they are flying. Big speed here. Nemechek back to the bottom to block Burton. Now to the middle to block Bowman. So far so good though. I gotta give him some credit as Burton goes way up the track. He was plowing up the track. Nearly hit Bowman and McDowell. He lost a ton of momentum now. He's completely checked up that outside line. Nemechek's still trying to run this race. Still trying to throw a block, and he will. Oh, as Bowman and Busch bang wheels. Stenhouse to the bottom. Getting a push from Hamlin. Wow, Nemechek is just driving the wheels off this thing from the top to the middle to the bottom to block Hamlin. 10 laps to go in this stage, and they're going to have to make a pit stop here at some point in time. But Nemechek really wants this track position. He's managed to hold off Hamlin and Stenhouse, but here comes Bubba Wallace off of turn 2. An impressive job by Nemechek, but he just couldn't quite get it done. Bubba to the inside with a push from Buescher, but Buescher's not waiting around, and neither is Austin Dillon. Dillon with a push from Jones. He's going back to the front. 3 wide from second on back, about 5 rows deep. This pack is about 15 or so cars strong. And nobody is really wanting to give an inch at this point. Chastain to the inside of Jones for the lead. Getting a push from Blaney. He's not waiting around. Blaney to the bottom. 3 wide for the lead again. 3 wide for 4th behind him. And then another throw of 2 threes. Jimmy Johnson, Todd Gilliland, and company, they're just behind this group. They're slowly but surely losing the draft. Trying to get organized back there, single file, but it's just not paying off for them. We remain side by side at the front. Blaney goes to the lead. Haley pushing him up there. Hamlin coming back to the front. As the roulette wheel continues to turn at the front of the field, here comes Hamlin, rumbling out of the pocket to the inside and probably to the lead, as dominant as this inside lane has been. Kyle Busch, Michael McDowell, Bubba Wallace, all right there. On that inside, making it happen. Blaney, though, no drafting help on the outside, trying to make some hay, but again, without much help, he's going to go backwards. Kyle Busch now surges to the front, the inside lane nearly 10 cars strong, with the middle and outside grooves just not enough momentum and not enough cars to really make it happen. 7 laps to go right now. It'll be 6 laps to go this time by. Off turn 4, there they come down pit road. There they go, they pulled the trigger. Busch, Bubba, Nemechek, Dillon, Burton, a whole bunch of cars here just pulled the trigger for the front. McDowell, Blaney, Buescher, Jones, just a handful of drivers right there stayed on the track. And now the chess game begins from pit road. It's going to be very interesting to see how this cycles out. Will the drivers that pit first make it back to the front, or will the drivers staying out, going along with the overcut, will they manage to maintain the lead? Kyle Busch leads off the pit road, Bubba Wallace right behind him. As McDowell and others come onto pit road. It's going to be a 4-tire stop for McDowell. Blaney as well. Gonna have to see who wins this race off of pit road. It's going to be Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney wins the race off of pit road ahead of McDowell, Jones, and Hamlin, with Buescher there as well. Now, they are ahead of Kyle Busch and those others. They're coming up to speed. Can Kyle Busch and company run them down to make this pass? Here comes Kyle Busch and Bubba Wallace. They're swapping positions. They're going to get by McDowell. Into turn number 3. What's Blaney going to do? Blaney stays on the bottom. Bubba to the outside. Bubba should now cycle to the lead. Blaney holds on to second, but not for long. Here comes Busch to the bottom. Side by side for second. 4 laps to go in this stage. About 4 cars right now have managed to pit and cycle out to the front. And right now, Bubba loves what he sees behind him. That's side by side for second. Blaney and Busch just will not give it up. That's allowing McDowell to join this picture. McDowell doesn't want to waste any time. He looks to the inside. Can't quite do it. Gets thrown a block by Busch. Slow cars, they come off of turn number 4 is going to stack up those two. And that's going to allow Blaney with a Busch from the outside to the inside of Bubba for the lead. That was Kaz Gralla that was slow on the racetrack. He stacked up Busch and McDowell, and now the top two have gotten away. Blaney gets by Bubba. Busch, McDowell, Jones, Nemechek, they've now gotten together into a small pack. It's going to be interesting to see if they can run down these top two as they come back around. It's going to be 2 laps to go in this stage. Time is ticking away. This second group is running just a little bit faster, and I mean by the slimmest of margins, just a little bit quicker. At this rate, they're not going to have enough time to catch the front two of Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney, who remain nose to tail, a little bit of a two-car tandem. Right as I say that, here comes Bubba to the inside. Side by side for the lead. This is what Eric Jones and that entire bunch want to see. They want to see this side-by-side, side drafting for the lead. And this may be the break they need. Off turn 4. White flag. It's going to be the hands of the flag man. 1 lap to go in stage number 2. Bubba leads it by a nose. But here comes the Legacy Motor Club cars. Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek. To the back bumper. Pushing now and shoving. This is going to increase the speeds. Here comes Busch. Here comes McDowell and Buescher. Throw a blanket now over the top 7 or 8 cars. Side by side for the lead. Here comes Nemechek. Nemechek to the bottom. 3 wide for the lead. Bubba in the middle. Blaney way outside. No drafting help. Busch gonna give a big push to Nemechek off of 4. Nemechek showing the way. Can anybody have anything for him at the line? No. Nemechek wins stage 2. Remarkable run by he and Jones to catch the leaders and make that pass. Wow. It looked like Bubba and Blaney had that all sewn up, and instead they're going to wind up 4th and 7th. Nemechek, Busch, Buescher, Wallace, Bowman the top 5, Jones, Blaney, McDowell, Stenhouse, and Ty Gibbs, your top 10 in the stage. And after such a chaotic stage 1, stage 2 goes green from flag to flag. How about that? We saw that with 2 laps to go down the backstretch. Blaney and Bubba got side by side, and that just allowed this humongous surge of momentum from Nemechek and Jones. They got to the back bumper and then made that move down the backstretch. Fantastic stuff. Busch, Buescher there as well. They managed to get by. Really helped them out as they're going to have the track position now that they so desperately need. Pit road is open and everybody looks to be coming down pit road. Got some cars staying out, but I believe those are lap cars. So John Nemechek leading the field down pit road. Interesting to see what they do here. It was a 4-tire stop under green flag conditions. And under the stage break, again, it's going to be 4-tire stops. This off of pit road is going to be really tight. Nemechek gets it. Very close between Buescher and Busch. Then Bubba and Bowman, your top 5 off of pit road. Jones lost a handful of spots there. And Blaney looks to hold serve. But Nemechek leads them on and off of pit road. It got awfully strung out there in stage number 2 with green flag stops. But right at the end, it got all bunched up. And we had a nice run to the green and white checkered flag. The stages are done. The next checkered flag is the black and white one. And you don't want to miss this. The last stage of the Daytona 500 is next.
This place, how everyone shows up with a dream. picture perfect blank canvas. Blue skies, wavy trees, the sun's kiss. Yeah, but the dream often doesn't meet the reality. It's hard to make it here, to achieve here, and most don't. And when you do, nothing needs to be said. Let these actions do it for you. Let the challenge be your success. Embrace it. We're racing in California.
Boss cars. They're something of a staple in the CSR Racing series. I'm going to talk about a very interesting set of boss cars. Boss cars that cannot be obtained or unlocked by any event or action in the game. This is the strange case of the Altai boss cars in CSR 2.
Lights are off on the pace car. We had a very interesting development under that commercial break. Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin stayed on the racetrack a couple extra laps, assumed the lead of the race. Hamlin led some laps under caution and then came down to pit with the 1 to go signal was given. The reason why that's important is that's going to allow him and Keselowski to go a little bit further on fuel. Obviously they're trying to play this in a situation where we don't have another caution, we stay green, and they can run this, you know, maybe try to make it go a little bit further, and who knows, try to maybe get this in one more stop. It'll be very interesting to see what that strategy plays out as. Looking at the running order, right now we got 22 cars still in this race and on the lead lap. We've got about three cars that are 1 lap down. Everybody else is out of the race, DNF. the front row. It's Chris Buescher on the outside, John Hunter Nemechek on the inside. Into the restart zone, green flag is waving, and the final stage of the Daytona 500 is underway. Good start by Nemechek, got clear to the lead. 3 wide now for the 4th position. Bowman get put in the middle of a Toyota Camry sandwich. Off turn 4. Kyle Busch in position in 2nd. Where does he go? Looking high, looking low, nothing doing just yet. Side by side, looking now 3 wide for the 2nd spot. We saw Nemechek earlier this race go block frenzy and really try to control this field. Let's see if he can do it again. They remain 3 wide for 2nd as Nemechek throws the block through the tri-oval on his teammate. Jones on the bottom, Ty Gibbs, McDowell also there as well. Side by side now for the lead. A couple of Legacy Motor Club Toyota Camrys. 3 wide behind that. McDowell, Gibbs on the bottom, Busch on the outside, Buescher on the outside. Into turn 3 and 4. Jones surging ahead by about half a car length, and it's going to be a full car length, and he's going to be clear off of turn 4. Nemechek on the outside as the door opens up on the bottom for McDowell. McDowell to the inside. Side by side for the lead. But here comes Haley with a push from Stenhouse. 3 wide for the lead and 1. That was a monster run from the number 51 Ford Mustang. And that's all thanks to the front bumper of Stenhouse. That looked like 4 wide further back with Harrison Burton way on the bottom. He's going to back out and let Ty Gibbs back in front of him. And they remain side by side for 2nd. Nemechek briefly lost the lead. Now he's going to be looking to get it back as he's pushing pushing Stenhouse further forward. Side by side for the lead yet again. Here comes Stenhouse on the bottom. Ty Gibbs getting a push from Harrison Burton. Let's see if that materializes into anything. Side by side for the lead. 3 wide. 2 rows of 3 wide behind that. Stenhouse surges to the front. He is clear, but how long can he hang on to it? Gibbs to the bottom. 3 wide behind him, and here comes Gibbs to the lead. Nemechek was on the inside a little while ago. Now he's stuck in the middle. That's practically no man's land. Stenhouse, who was also leading just a minute ago, he goes to the outside line. Gibbs up to block Stenhouse. That's going to open up the door for Harrison Burton. Here comes the Wood Brothers Mustang, but another Mustang. It's Chris Buescher to the bottom. 3 wide for the lead. 3 wide, 3 rows deep. Again, the top 15 under a blanket. Off of turn number 4, it's 10 laps to go, and it will be 9 laps to go at the line this time by. Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace, a couple of drivers that started at the back in backup cars. They are now looking for the lead of this race. Off turn 2, it's Buescher trying to throw the block on Bubba. 9 laps to go as we come down the backstretch. The pit window, I believe, is officially open. If you want to try and pit now and stretch it all the way to the end of this race, I don't know if that's going to be possible, but it's certainly an opportunity. Off of turn 4, here comes Blaney. Big run, and now they're coming to pit road on cue. On cue, they're coming to pit road, but it's just 3 Ford Mustangs of Buescher, Blaney, and Burton. As I said, the pit window was open, but I really don't know if that was going to be the move to make or not. Again, you put yourself in a box when you pit that early. You have to make the numbers. You've got to make your fuel numbers now to make it to the end of this race. We watch Bubba lead this group of cars that stayed out. Chastain, where did he come from? He's up to second. Bowman, Gibbs, and Stenhouse. These top 5 now coming off of turn 4. Let's see what happens here. Everybody but Bowman coming to pit road. Bowman stays out. Eric Jones stays out, and I think that was Haley that stayed out as well. Alex Bowman, Eric Jones really going long here, but they don't quite, they're not pitting in a group, they're not pitting together, so this is going to be really tricky to see who's going to come out on top and who's going to cycle out to the lead. Bowman off a turn 4. Does he hit this lap? Yes, he does. He's coming in. So is Jones. So is Haley. And there's Hamlin. We talked about Hamlin staying out. He's coming in this time. And it looks like Keselowski is as well. Yes. So these guys pit. They've made the time. They got that extra fuel. Now let's see if it pays off with the overcut. Money stop time in the Daytona 500. Who is going to get this done? Off of pit road. It's Alex Bowman off of pit road. He has the lead at the moment. Here comes Ryan Blaney and Bubba Wallace. Huge head of steam down the short straight to turn number 1. Alex Bowman's going to be a sitting duck here. Here comes Blaney. Here comes Bowman. They make the pass hour. So the top 2 look to be Blaney and Bubba, with a big pack led by McDowell a little further back down the backstretch. That's a tandem of 4. McDowell, Stenhouse, Busch, and Nemechek. They are making their way by Jones, and they're going to try and catch Bowman. Once again, it's Blaney and Bubba into the tri-oval. 5 laps to go in the Daytona 500. If you're either one of these two, you just need to, you've just got to maintain face here. These guys, we're watching them right now. Bowman to the outside, McDowell on the bottom. If these two keep racing each other, if these handful of drivers continue to race each other, they're not going to be able to catch these top 2. They're going to have to get organized in order to make a charge. Right now, that's not the case. We saw this mistake in duel number 2 where they got side by side and started racing each other. That opened up the door for that second group of cars to catch them. Right now, they remain nose to tail. 4 laps to go. Blaney over Bubba. They got a slow car ahead that looks like Gralla. Bubba looks to the inside. The slow car's going to be in the way. The slow car got in the way. It slowed them both down. Blaney on the outside. Bubba stuck behind the slow car of Gralla. Blaney now has gotten away with the lead. Bubba now is going to have to pedal. He's going to have to pedal hard if he wants to catch Blaney. Here comes the backpack. It's McDowell and Stenhouse. Can they navigate this car of Gralla? No, they get caught behind him as well. Unbelievable. Gralla has now packed up both cars in what looked like a golden opportunity to catch these front 2, and it looks like that opportunity has vanished. Bubba now trying to catch Blaney. he has done that. He has caught Blaney once again. McDowell, Jones, and Bowman, they are not together, but they are pedaling. 2 laps to go. Here comes Bubba to the inside, side by side for the lead. Through the tri-oval, there is a slow car, there is a lap car ahead. We'll see if that becomes a factor. But right now they're side by side for the lead. We saw this before at the end of stage 2. That time they just switched positions. Now Bubba to the front, Blaney in second. They didn't stay side by side for too long, didn't slow each other down that much. Blaney, though, is not wasting any time. Here comes Blaney back to the inside. Side by side for the lead. Austin Dillon, the lap car, dead ahead. White flag. 1 lap to go in the Daytona 500. Blaney by half a car at the line. Austin Dillon, is he going to be in the way? Blaney to the bottom takes it. Bubba has to go to the inside and Blaney's gone. Ryan Blaney used the lap car as a pick. Gets by and gets clear of Bubba. The snarling pack behind them is not working together. They're not going to be able to make a charge. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Ryan Blaney got Bubba Wallace in his rear view mirror. Bubba Wallace, he's making his charge, but it's not going to be enough. Ryan Blaney wins the Daytona 500. A chaotic opening stage followed up by 2 green flag stages where the pit stops made the difference. And Ryan Blaney navigates the slow cars to perfection. Team Penske, Ryan Blaney, they've won the Daytona 500. Heartbreaking loss for those drivers in that pack at the back, looking at McDowell's, the Bowmans, the Nemecheks. That's a huge missed opportunity for them. They had a chance at the end of that race. If they just worked together, I think they could have easily run them down. We saw it in Duel 2, or we saw that in stage number 2. We saw how much faster they were able to run those guys down. Unfortunately, they were not patient. They were not patient with each other, and that is what ultimately handed the win to Ryan Blaney, because all he had to deal with was Bubba Wallace. And one-on-one, mano-a-mano, it was Ryan Blaney who makes it happen, and he finally wins his first Daytona 500. You gotta give your chops, though, to get somebody like Alex Bowman, up 34 spots, started in last, finished in the top 5. That is so impressive. Let's take a look at the winning moment of the race, though. Ryan Blaney got around Austin Dillon, got to his inside, forced Bubba to yield and get behind him, and unfortunately there just wasn't enough time for Bubba to mount another charge. Incredible racing. You don't often see a one-on-one race at the end of these super speedway races, but we saw it today, and Ryan Blaney gets it done. Let's take a look at the full field rundown and the results after the Daytona 500. Ryan Blaney is the winner. Bubba Wallace is second. John Hunter Nemechek gets third. Alex Bowman fourth. And Kyle Busch rounds out the top five. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the sixth spot. The seventh spot will be Eric Jones. Michael McDowell in eighth. Chris Buescher in ninth. And Denny Hamlin gets the last spot in the top 10. Harrison Burton, Justin Haley 12th. Ross Chastain 13th. Ty Gibbs 14th. And Todd Gilliland is 15th. Brad Keselowski still does not check off the Daytona 500. He is 16th. Chris Buescher 17th. Noah Gragson 18th. Daniel Suarez 19th. And Zane Smith. That's your top 20. Jimmy Johnson will finish 21st and be the last car on the lead lap. In 22nd, one lap down, it's Austin Dillon. 23rd, one lap down, it's Josh Berry. Then Daniel Hemrick, also one lap down, in 24th. Then 2 laps down, in 25th, it's Kaz Grala. The rest of these cars, out of the race. Martin Truex Jr., 26th. David Reagan, 27th. Tyler Reddick, 28th. Christopher Bell in 29th. And Ryan Preece in 30th. Corey LaJoie, 31st. Shane Van Gisbergen in 32nd. Anthony Alfredo, after going up on his side in turn number 3, he finishes 33rd. Austin Cindric, 34th. Joey Logano, the pole sitter, he finishes 35th. And then a row of 3 Hendrick Motorsports cars. Chase Elliott, 36th. Kyle Larson, 37th. And William Byron, upside down, barrel rolling down the banking in turn number 3, is 38th. And last, 39th on the field, and last, it's Carson Hocevar in 39th. Certainly an incredible and wild Daytona 500. We saw the big one in the first 5 laps, a caution-filled stage 1, followed by a clean stage 2, and then a clean run all the way to the black and white checkered flag, where we saw Ryan Blaney and Bubba Wallace go head-to-head to be Daytona 500 champion. But the chaos and excitement doesn't end here. Up next, the NASCAR YouTube Cup Series heads to Fontana, California for the Auto Club 100 at Auto Club Speedway. That video will premiere live right here on the Gaming Life YouTube channel. Be sure you subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss when that video premieres. Congratulations to Ryan Blaney, the Daytona 500 champion, and until next time, this is Nathan Lawson signing off for TGL TV, saying so long from virtual Daytona International Speedway, and congratulations to Ryan Blaney, the 2024 NASCAR YouTube Cup Series Daytona 500 champion.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.